All right, what's going on, everybody? I'm Jabby Kaway, joined by SYNTELL Kaway.
Hey, what's cracking, baby?
We're watching what happens if you hold your pee in for too long. So, SYNTELL and I are both fans of science, and so this is a short video that I was intrigued by. It's a very weird one for us to do a reaction to, but I thought, hey, what the hey? What happens if you hold your pee in for too long? I'd like to find out. You know, you ever had that moment where you're in bed and you're like, I'm about to go to sleep. Oh no, my body would like to go pee. And then like, there's that like kind of oscillating idea of like, what if I pee while I'm sleeping? Why don't I just hold it the rest of the night? Now we're gonna find out why you shouldn't. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, bell icon, all notifications. Pretty please vote this up. Let YouTube know you're enjoying what you're watching. Here we go.
I'm voting that your kidneys explode.
You're about an hour and a half into the movie.
Ugh.
And boy, are you regretting that large soda. You can hold it, sure, but should you?
Do you have a trick? Do you have a trick for holding it?
Tapping my foot. No, it's not really
No,
a trick.
my trick, I try to pee as much as possible before the movie starts. And then what I do is I put a jacket in between my legs, right up against that whole area. If I put a jacket there, for some odd reason, it helps me. Don't know why. Keeping it warm, because the theaters are usually cold. And so that's part of what makes you want to go pee, I think. And so like, if you keep that whole area warm, I think you're less likely to, I don't know, try it out.
Peeing is pretty important. Your kidneys filter excess water and waste out of your blood, and that urine needs somewhere to go, your bladder. Normally, it will hold 1 to 2 cups comfortably. But if you make a habit out of holding your pee for long periods of time, you can actually stretch your bladder to easily hold even more.
What?
One study found that nurses who often held it in all day due to job constraints had nearly double the normal bladder capacity.
What?
And
I thought that could
I thought it was bad.
I thought it would like, I thought you could create health problems by holding it.
turns out they were totally fine. But that doesn't mean that you should hold it in if you can help it. Because your bladder might not be the only thing to stretch. You may also stretch your external sphincter muscles.
What?
Those are important muscles connected to the outside of your bladder that are the gatekeepers of your golden liquid. Clench them and you hold in the gold, relax them and you release the flood. But if you overstretch them, you can actually lose control. This is rare, and it usually takes decades of holding it in too long to reach that point. But once you do, it can lead to some awkward and even dangerous situations. For example, with less overall control, you risk leaking urine when your bladder is full and not emptying it all the way when you finally do go. Not only can this increase your need to urinate more often since your bladder fills up quicker, it can also lead to a serious disorder called urinary retention, where you end up with too much urine in your bladder for too long. And since your bladder is basically a warm, wet bag of body waste, it's the perfect breeding ground for harmful bacteria that will cause all sorts of damage.
Oh, UTIs.
Even worse, if you're really unlucky and retain too much urine, it may back up into your kidneys. This can cause kidney failure and ultimately death.
Wow.
Are you
Okay, so
kidding
that
me?
sounds really bad. I would like to know from the audience, if you are a female, if women have a harder time holding back. I've heard of women like sneezing and the little pee comes out. Like that doesn't happen to me.
It's never,
Yeah.
ever. I mean, the only accidental mishaps have happened off of drunken nights as an adult. Yeah, I mean, I mean, in that sense, I was like a child. I don't have like, if I sneeze too hard, I pee. I've heard that before too.
I would love to know from the ladies in the comments if, you know, that happens to you.
The good news is you're more likely to just lose control of your muscles and pee way before your bladder hits this point. Why not reduce the risk altogether and just go to the bathroom?
There we go.
Okay, I get it. The movie is absolutely gripping. Luckily, you'll be fine if you only hold it in for a short time every once in a while. So go ahead, hang in there.
Huh.
That's good to know, actually. I get afraid, you know, if I really gotta go pee, I start, you know, and I'm watching Avengers Endgame or something.
Yeah, 2.5 hours in.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh man, do I have to miss something?
The thing that's interesting to me out of all of this, and I've heard this before and I just recently kind of found this out. In my head, I don't know why, I thought that your urine came from the water that's in like your intestines. I thought like you're drinking it goes in your stomach, you know, and whatever excess you have, that water just goes from there into your bladder or whatever it is. I had no idea, like until recently, that it's the water in your blood. Like you're drinking blood water for the most part.
You're drinking blood water?
Yeah, I mean, excuse me, you're peeing blood water for whatever reason, but it makes perfect sense. You know, your blood goes through your kidney sorts out all the excess water and then pushes it into your bladder. So every time you pee, that's just blood water. I just thought that was kind of weird and fascinating.
I thought that was like a sorting line at the end of the rope. Like, all right, so
Right.
you go that way, you go that way. Like,
Right,
I thought that's what it was.
but I'm kind of with you, but that's not the case.
Okay.
What happens is that your bloodstream has excess fluid and excess water in it, and your liver takes the excess water from your bloodstream and puts it into your bladder. You're peeing blood water.
I feel like we're gonna get some schooling going on in the comments stuff about like.
They said it in the thing. They said, you know, the excess water from your bloodstream. They said it in it. But that's why it made me think about it. I was like, oh, I remember just recently. I recently discovered that in my old age. I'm like, it's not from your digestive tract. It's from your bloodstream. It's blood water.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, I was hoping that this video was going to dive into like ways to increase the time that you can hold your pee. You know, like, okay, because they talked about the nurses and how they hold their pee all the time and they have the ability to hold their pee for a long time now and they're perfectly okay. And I'm like, okay, so what is the threshold for that where now you're crossing into terrible territory where now you can't hold your pee at all and it's just going to come out when you get happy. I wanted to get schooled on that so that I can improve my life.
I need some tips so I can stretch out this bladder.
Yeah, that's all.
Like I wonder if like truck drivers, you know, they probably got like massive bladders because they can't just be pulling over all the time. You know, they just got to hold it and roll with it. Nurses, I never would have expected nurses to be the example of people that hold their pee.
I would guess that truck drivers do a lot of Dumb and Dumbers and they use some bottles and let it out on the road.
Well, if you're a trucker in the comments, please let us know your technique, please.
I would just guess you're trying to get from point A to B as fast as possible. And no, little P ain't gonna stand in the way of that shit. So
Little squirtle.
yeah, no, like you just got your an empty soda bottle and you make it work.
Ooh.
That you didn't get the Dumb and Dumber
That
reference?
sounds messy. Yes, I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
How's your drink? You look a little parched.
That was so gross. The funniest thing is like there's nothing actually happening other than acting, but it's still gross. The idea just messes you up.
Oh, well, here's the thing, random question, and to the chat as well. If you're in a desert and, you know, you're only left with your urine to drink from, would you prefer it to have been blood urine or digestive urine if you're drinking?
What a weird question.
So random, right? So random.
I don't think it makes a difference to me.
It's PSP.
Yeah. It's just like his pee at the end of the day. I thought you were gonna ask something else. I heard about, I don't remember which Asian country it was, but these two brothers that got kind of stuck in this building after an earthquake, 5 days. And the way they survived was by drinking each other's pee for 5 days.
I'd rather drink my own. So if you were stuck
That's what I thought
like
you were
that,
driving at. Was like,
Okay.
would you rather
Well, that's
drink,
better.
Would you rather drink, you know, Saul Goodman's pee or Ehrman Trout's pee? Yeah.
No. Oh gosh, no. I'd have a hard time drinking my own, but I'm sure as hell ain't drinking somebody else's. That's just way too much. I'm not exchanging bodily fluids with anybody unless I love them, you know, and even then. No. It's a negative.
You guys, thanks so much for hanging out. I'm Jabby Kuwait. This is.
Hey, it's your boy P Exchange. No, SYNTELL, peace.
Peace out.